Just wanted to make my stream look a little better. Nice. Okay. Um... There we go. We're gonna try something. Trying to cut out some of this background noise from my microphone. Because I know it can get a little crazy on stream. I'm trying to fix it where that doesn't happen. Because I'm looking at my sound levels right now and they're not great. We're going to fix it. Next, install. Finish. Okay. Other app. Next. Got it. Legit. Awesome. And then under properties. Huh. Is that better? I see my levels are down. Let me turn up the gain a little bit. Hello? Nothing. Whoa, dude. Okay. Slam on my table, nothing. You can hear it a little bit. Sounds good to me. And I also love how this game is running so smoothly while I'm streaming too. I think I finally got the settings down. Alright. The combat feels really good, actually. I'm actually impressed at how good the combat feels. Ooh. Collect ship's roster. Huh. There we go. Oh, it's under it. This game feels really good. I'm really digging this. This is cool. Wow. Okay. All right. Okay, dude. Let's see what Joel is doing.
Yo,
Yo, what's up, man?
just finishing some stuff before I leave later.
Oh, you gotta work?
No, I'm gonna go to the mall.
What are you finishing? What are you playing?
Just some mobile games. I'll
Uh,
get up to get something to drink.
you watch some YouTube videos and chill. Wait, this is a different. Pull this over here real quick. Whoa, hold up.
I'm back.
Yo, what's up?
So it's just that I just don't have like the games that are playing are like games that don't have auto. So like I have to play them manually. So I can't really like fit them into schedule. Cause like if I have like 5 minutes, it's like, oh, I'll just log into this game, just auto like 2 missions, and then just get out and just get back to what I'm doing. But no, this type of game is just like you gotta play the game. There is no auto button. There is no speed, like ×5 speed. No, I actually have to like keep clicking while touching technically.
Right.
So it's like it's basically another job. Cause like
I could not do that. Could not keep up with that.
it's like a thing that's just like if it's I've been playing like games like this for a while that I'm just like really like not bothered.
Well, I was just trying out New World.
A buddy of mine tried to get me to play, but I was just like, it's I just don't see the enjoyment.
I was
It's
having fun.
it just looks like a lot of the same RPG games. It reminds me a lot of the Blade fucking Blade and Spirit. No, what was the fucking name? Blade and Soul. Like Blade and Soul mixed with like Black Desert and shit like that, and it's just
It
like,
had like kind of a pirate tinge to it though. It was feeling very Sea of Thieves if it were an MMO. Is what I
well,
would.
technically, it's like you're reconquering land. So like,
I was enjoying it though.
eh.
It's pretty fun actually. The combat feels really good. It's pretty visually okay. I was enjoying it.
And I also don't have money, so like,
That's fair. Well, I mean, I didn't. I went on Amazon and pre-ordered it because it's free to
yeah.
pre-order on Amazon. and then you just cancel the pre-order. You wait
But
till
it's
they
just
send
like
you wait till
I'm
they
not
send you
that
the
type of
code, and then you
person.
cancel the pre-order.
Every pre-order I've done in my life, I've actually bought like the thing. I've pre-ordered a Wii U. The Wii U's next to me. Haven't used it in like 3 years, but it's still there. I pre-ordered the PS Vita. This Vita is like the original, like one that came with Call of Duty Black Ops Declassified, and it's just a black PS Vita. It just came with the game. Where's the game? No fucking idea, but I know where the Vita is.
Right.
It's like I just don't like saying that I'm gonna pay you the money and then just like nah.
So, Joel, this is how
Yeah,
crazy this fucking software is. It's not even RTX voice. I'm about to tap on my microphone and tell me if you can hear it.
nah.
Literally sitting there and tapping on my microphone, can't hear it. But the minute I talk, you can hear me.
It's like the Discord one. Like Discord will filter out your laughing. If you're like laughing hysterically, it'll filter it out with the noise suppression.
I was like, this is really good for my stream because I've been having a lot of background noise. I've been going back and watching my VODs, and I'm like, that background noise is just, ugh, gotta do something about it. And so, it's pretty
I
cool that
mean, I saw your thing. Weren't you gonna stream?
I am streaming right now.
Uh, but you're
I,
not on Twitch.
am I not?
No, because I like jumped on Twitch and you weren't there.
Oh,
But now you
I
can.
was off and on because I was trying to fix settings with my stream.
Ah,
I'm fully up now though. I was playing New World, the world I was on went down for maintenance, so I guess I'm gonna just do YouTube stuff now. I don't know. Do that for a little while and maybe play something else later.
I mean, Brandon, Finn, and I are gonna watch Ava 3.0. So like, you can just kick out the first two movies and you'll be like good to go. And you can join us tonight. Because like the first one is like an hour and a half, and the second one is like an hour and a half.
I gotta run to the restroom. I'll be right back.
This game crashed. Wow.
in here? Later. Later. Later.
Ah, me?
Puppy. Later. 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 Not now. No, I'm talking to the dog. So this has kind of made me realize that it doesn't matter what GPU I get at this point. Because
What?
um this is the first time I've like tried to stream games after switching to an AMD GPU, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it ran splendidly once I got the settings right. And I'm doing all my encoding on my CPU on the Ryzen 3700X, which does a fucking great job of stream encoding if the settings are set correctly. Um, so it literally doesn't even fucking matter what kind of GPU I run, besides like how well the game performs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, so that's kind of cool.
Yep.
I always thought if I were to buy a GPU, I'd probably go Nvidia because of the encoding, um, because of the NVENC encoder, which is nice, but this is running just great. I don't, yeah.
And also, you don't with the NVIDIA encoder, you don't really have to like play with the settings. So it's just like there you go.
Yeah, that is true, but I found out one of the biggest problems I was having is I was limiting my CPU's usage too. I did not know. Um, but I fixed that. Uh,
Sorry.
because the Ryzen 3700X, um, it has a base clock of 3.8 and a boost clock of 4.4, and I had it running at its base clock, and it could hit up to its boost clock a little bit more. So I just found the sweet spot of where it'll hit, and I got it to around. Let me look. I got right now. It's running at 4.18, so around 4.2 gigahertz
Mm.
on all the cores. So I also would like to go. I need to go to. Uh, there's an app that I use, Core Temp. Set up Core Temp real quick just to make sure temperatures are good because I didn't even check that. Then I look and my shit's like running really, really hot. Probably not
It's
though.
like you could just grill something in the CPU. It's like not running that bad.
No. So over the course of the session, the max it reached was 72 degrees Celsius.
Mm,
Idles are around 60. It can actually probably go higher even. That's crazy.
it is.
But uh everything looks good for the most part. Use this program at your own risk. It's a CPU monitoring tool. I've used it before. I know what it does. But like, yeah, it's not that bad.
Mm.
And my games were running smoother too, just as a result of me pushing more performance out of my CPU. My games are running smoother. That's a plus.
Yeah.
So what do I do? What do I do at this point? I could play
Like,
Magic, but honestly, I think I'm just gonna watch some shit on YouTube.
do 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 do. Oh shit! I closed Twitch. Do 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 do. You might want to change the thing to the to that you're in just chatting.
Yeah, it's always a pain because I have to go through and change it on multiple platforms. But the only one that I don't have to change it on is YouTube. Because somehow YouTube auto detects.
Fuck! I beat that mission with 17 health. That's some big PP energy.
Right?
Friend summon in January.
What are these subscriptions? What the fuck? Who's been on my. Huh? Why am I subscribed to Smite? That.
I mean, you probably like it, you know.
This account I never use. It's weird. The subscriptions is weird.
And why are you not in your main account?
Because it's like flooded with political shit, with politics shit. So I wanted a better recommended for when I stream.
Wow, I had a stroke writing that summonable.
Ubisoft's extremely generic to be announced shooter.
Have you seen the Chainsaw Man trailer?
Yes, I've seen it. Finn had me watch it the other day.
You didn't even have a choice.
No,
I'm just saying it's gonna be in everybody's top 5 after it comes out.
I mean I need to read it.
It's like really good. It's only like 97 chapters. That's like legit my main complaint. But part he the dude says it's gonna be like there's gonna be a part 2. The author said he said eventually there's gonna be a part 2. In mangaka words, eh, if I feel like it. So like the other day, I have this YouTuber that I watch that sometimes streams on Twitch. And he was just like, I was watching his stream the other day, and he just said, "You know, guys, fuck it, let's watch Avengers Endgame." And we just watched Avengers Endgame. All 20 people that were watching the stream,
On what?
like the whole fucking movie on
On
Twitch.
on Twitch? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Did did he not get banned?
No, because if you delete the VOD, what are they really gonna see?
Usually, yeah. I don't know. They
And he
probably.
just doesn't care. He'll make another account. His YouTube channel has been deleted 5 times.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to get my Twitch banned. So
Like it's one of those things. And he's just like, fuck it, I do what I want. Have you watched Invincible?
Invincible, no. I've heard it's really good, but I haven't
Eh.
watched it.
It's also like one of those things. It's just like I binged it like from episode 1 to like 8, like in one sitting, and I was just like, "Fuck, that was so good." I didn't want to stand up. Mm. I mean, anime openings are pretty popular if you want to start like putting shit on.
True. I'm just kind of scrolling right now. Just kind of seeing.
Like the main thing for like YouTube reacting that are gonna get a lot of views: anime reactions, anime opening reactions, trailer reactions, and like specific game things. It's like people just love those. You can have a channel with like 10 subscribers and you post you reacting to like an anime opening, and 100% you're guaranteed to have more than 100,000 people view that video. Like minimum. I'm not talking about maximum. Sometimes you see like videos with like 2 million views and the person only has like 300,000 subscribers. It's like people like anime openings.
People like anime.
People
I
people
mean,
like no, not really. People like seeing you being surprised at stuff they already know. It makes them feel good. Like legit, I can just go to a YouTube page to a YouTube, double click my search bar, so it can like show me my things, and number one anime opening reactions, like 100%. Number one anime opening reactions. Number two,
but I
welcome to
don't.
the internet, Bo Burnham
But
reaction.
I don't care
I'm just telling you,
about anime openings. So
you can't say that on the internet. Hmm. People love them openings. Also, mobile games with like specific mobile games, it's like a lot of people. Music reactors are having a sudden boom too.
it's also hard to do music reactions without DMCA slamming down on you though.
I mean, on YouTube you can get by with like specific things because if
Well,
like if
yeah,
it
on
gets
YouTube, but
bad,
on Twitch, Twitch is a different story.
because like you can just like lower the volume or like opaque the screen.
No, YouTube's pretty lax. It's mainly just Twitch, to be completely honest.
I mean, Twitch will die soon, so like,
I don't think Twitch is going anywhere anytime soon, but
you never know.
The only thing that'll kill it's like Destiny. The only thing that'll kill Twitch is Twitch, though. If we're being honest.
I mean, it's that there needs to be another streaming website so Twitch can fall. And right now, there's no other good one.
Nope.
It's like YouTube. Nobody can take down YouTube. There's a lot of other video sharing websites like YouTube. Like, there's Vimeo, there's fucking
What are the top
that
10 most powerful
BB,
Pokemon? That'd be interesting.
fucking. There's a lot of sites like YouTube, but it's like they're not YouTube. It'll be a little bit hard to like take down a giant.
Wonder if Jubilee's posted anything.
Who?
They're usually contentful videos. We'll see.
So this is what you watch on your spare time?
No, I usually watch people reacting to shit like this.
Cause like, that's a bit weird.
I watch a lot of politics stuff and news stuff.
I mean, you can just like Brandon first and half bad, and he's like, I would say pretty like not fuck. What's the word? Like he's not a shit poster. I'm like not in tune with like kids' language nowadays. He's wholesome. Like I really can't recommend you shit because like my mix. It's like I've been watching Funhouse, like old Funhouse content. Uh, Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. That's the mobile game stuff. And like Sal's podcast, you know Sal from Practical Jokers.
True
He
crime
has a
shit is
podcast.
really good too, though. Like like the JCS stuff.
I mean SCP Foundation. It's all fake, but you know it's pretty interesting to have in the background. I mean the dude the company
These
man shit from
these
the company
these
man.
Suspected
guys
human
make
remains and hiking boots found during the search for two young Dutch women.
I wish you all the best for the rest of your lives and stuff.
I term mass
I'm really
killers.
going to miss you.
What is up, Yiwu crew?
Alright, this is where we're at, Mr. Collette.
Be interesting.
While we were here.
Wait, I need to make sure there's no blood in it though.
You're just gonna skim it.
Yeah. I mean, I can skip if need be, but I don't think there is. It's not, but it's also really fucking long. And find something just a little bit shorter.
Haven't you heard that I'm the new cancer?
What's this? There was a thing that happened really close to home. It was
Mm. Like literally, or
like quite literally. It was like the Arkansas
I mean, you could probably just try to Arkansas and like look through.
5 or some shit. 5 cold cases in Arkansas. Well, that's not it. It was like, oh, it was the West Memphis hold up. 3. That's what it was. Look into this real quick. Check it out. Look, I can
Hello.
go. Investigation. Oh shit, this is in okay. It's 3 of the missing pieces. You can take a look at this real quick. I think we're alright.
In 1993, the savage murder of 3 children shakes the small town of West Memphis, Arkansas. The following year, 3 teenagers are convicted for these horrific crimes, sending shockwaves throughout the country. The young men maintain their innocence, and 20 years later are released from prison on a plea deal. In these exclusive
So,
videos,
for perspective, this happened like what was it like? Right, like maybe 10 minutes down the road from where I live right now. So
explore some of the lingering questions surrounding the case. Was there really a satanic plot behind the murders? What drove the celebrity-studded movement to release the young men? And
I'm sorry,
West
what?
Memphis 3 get into it? Who did?
what?
That actually caught my attention.
May 6th, 1993. 8-year-olds Stevie Branch, Christopher Byers, and Michael Moore are found murdered in the forest outside of Robin Hood Hills in West Memphis, Arkansas. It's an unthinkable crime. Autopsies soon reveal even more disturbing details. The boys have been hogtied and drowned. Their bodies are covered with strange lacerations and bite marks. Their genitals have been mutilated. The strange nature of these wounds lead authorities to suspect an occult ritual has taken place.
It said
After
missing.
3 weeks of investigation,
It didn't
authorities
say
are led to
mutilated.
3 teens.
They were
Jesse
just not there.
Miscavige, Jason Baldwin, and Damian Eccles. They are dubbed the West Memphis 3 by the media and are charged with the murders in June of 1993. At the trial, the prosecution seizes on their love
That's
of
a
heavy
pretty
metal
lazy
music,
name.
and especially Damian Eccles' professed interest in the occult. They
Oh
argue
yeah.
that the boys' predilections, along with the strange and brutal nature of the crime scene, are proof that the murders were committed as a satanic
It's like
ritual.
they're from Memphis and there's
Bizarre
3.
as it sounds, this was not an isolated incident. In the early 1980s, rumors of satanic ritual abuse began to percolate in American culture. In 1983, the story of the McMartin preschool dominates the headlines, when the family running the school is accused of occult-inspired sexual abuse of children. Other stories follow, and for a time, it appears that evil has permeated the fabric of society. Over the next couple of decades,
Wait, that last
running
one.
the school is accused
I
of
understand like the whole
occult-inspired
satanic
sexual
panic
abuse
thing
of
was
children.
like ridiculous,
Other stories follow,
but this was the part of
and
it that like
for a time, it appears that
That's
evil
like a
has
big thing
permeated the
why
fabric of
that Dungeons and Dragons was said to be like demonic game.
which is fucking ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous, man. Evangelicals, man.
I mean,
Oh,
any actual religion that believe in like Satan, really.
yeah.
Well, except the Satanist, because surprisingly, the Satanists are the ones that have the most level-headed mind.
Isn't it like that most practicing Satanists are pretty much just like all about like the principles of like the book of Satan, but like they're not so much that they believe that there's actually like um there's
It's
actually
a
like a supernatural aspect to it, that is just all like mostly just the principles, right?
yeah,
It's
it's
kind of
legit. Like
kind of in the
they
same
don't.
way that like progressive um more progressive forms of Christianity are like more about the principles of Christianity and less about like the actual supernatural bits behind it. Like they don't let their morals be dictated by Christianity, but they have their morals, and then there's Christianity, rather their religious practices.
Hmm.
There's a lot of people like that, and those people are like some of the most level-headed as far as like religious people go to me. Um, of course, I'm not religious, but I grew up in a lot of religion, so I understand just the culture and the society behind a lot of it.
You know
Uh,
what the funny thing is? We live in a world where the Satanists are the ones that are just like, just live your life, do your best life. Don't care about what everybody else tells you. You love whoever you want. And the Christians are just like, no, you can't do that. It's just like that's kind of the opposite from like two
it
years
kind of
ago.
feels like it's ass backwards. Like, yeah, I don't know, man. It's weird.
Of society. Over the next couple of decades, most of these allegations would eventually be proven false. but
And to be
nothing
fair, like every religion has radicalization. Like that's not just Christianity. It's not mutually exclusive to any specific religion. This is why I hate when people hate on people who are Muslim, and they try to equate like what happened with 9/11 to like practicing Muslims, and their biases and bigotry comes out in that respect. It's like, dude, those people were radicalized through like, and it wasn't just their religion that radicalized them. It was also a bunch of destabilization in the region, by U.S. forces and other imperialist nations. Not to justify what they did, because there's no justification for, I don't think there's justification for terrorism, but I also don't think there's justification for um, nationalist imperialism neither. So, you know, but it's just kind of one of those things where like a lot of this stuff, like sacrificing people to Satan, right? That's like a more obviously radicalized. Like they interpreted the text a very different way than what someone else would have interpreted it. Yeah. And
Basically, modern day Christians.
modern
Like,
day, I would say modern day evangelicals, because I've met Christians that are fine, that aren't like super what's the word, ridiculous in in that regard, but that are like regular people and sensible people. And I've also met like hyper evangelicals that are like super radical in Christianity.
for causing significant damage to people's reputations
it's
and
it's it's,
lives.
it's a weird
How
world.
does an entire country become entangled in this type of hysteria? Sociologist Jeffrey Victor coined the term satanic panic to describe this particular culture of fear.
I coined the term with the editor of my book. It's kind of alliteration. The belief that there are satanic cults that are doing evil things goes back to at least ancient Rome. And it was targeting Christians who were
I'm just saying
supposedly
that's a man that would
kidnapping
actually come up with the
blonde,
word
blue-eyed
satanic panic.
virgins
You know?
and then sacrificing them to drink their blood during communion services. And it became a good excuse to kill Christians. And later stories were used against Jews. So when you ask where did it begin, one variation of another can be traced back to ancient times. The reason that some kids got picked on, like West Memphis 3, is they were very much nonconformists. They were easy targets. Basic social psychology. When people believe something is real, it is real in its consequences.
For the West Memphis Three, the consequences of these accusations are dire. Their assumed involvement with Satanism is key in driving a jury against them. Damien Eccles' own testimony proves damning. He reveals a keen interest in the occult, and specifically, the works of one Aleister Crowley.
The prosecution made the argument that Eccles had been interested in Crowley.
Can
and
we
in
just say
fact, he
those
was.
are the most
Born in
90s haircuts?
1875 in the United Kingdom,
They really are, though.
Aleister Crowley
Well, I mean, you got to remember this case happened in the
passion
90s
was
too,
for
so
the
like
occult.
that was very,
Crowley
very
had
like.
this stigma. He even embraced it, calling himself the Great Beast 666.
It's like the
most
one
wicked
dude,
man in the
long,
world. He saw
wavy
himself
hair.
really as this rebel against conventional religion.
As it turns out, the link
Short,
between
long
Robert
hair.
Hood and Crowley's
And then the
occult
dude that
interests
just has a
is
spike
nothing
in
new.
the middle of
Artist,
his
a writer,
head.
a poet. Because of that, of course, he's attracted a lot of artists. You see Crowley's influence in the music that begins to emerge during the 1960s. The Beatles. On the Sgt. Pepper album, who do we see right up there in the corner in the background with that cast of characters? There's Crowley. Crowley's influence became more apparent with guitarist
Why
Jimmy
did it?
Page of Led Zeppelin.
Is that how it's pronounced
Jimmy
though?
Page was fascinated
What?
with
I thought
Aleister
it was.
Crowley.
I thought it
This
was
kind of began to
Crowley.
weigh down Led Zeppelin and even contribute to a negative stigma against them. Famously, when the death of Robert Plant's son Carrick occurred,
I mean,
the press had been saying that it very well could have been that Jimmy Page's
It's like
cult
he could have just
feelings and
slipped
his
up.
interest in the dark arts had contributed to bad luck that the band had suffered. Page had to come out and make a public statement that said, "I do not worship the devil." Eccles was drawn to Crowley like so
I
many
say
had
Crowley,
met
but
before him.
just
On the heels of that so-called satanic panic,
different
though,
people.
the prosecution at the time saw that as basically a point A to point B connection. This guy was interested in the occult. There's the proof. What more do you need?
Compounding this is the
Imagine
fact
just
that a
going
few
out and just
notorious
saying,
killers
for the record,
do
I do
profess
not
an
worship the
allegiance to
devil.
Satanism.
We have to
Right.
acknowledge actual serial killers
Just like,
who claimed that
is
they
that
were
all you had
influenced
to
by
say?
satanic
Yeah.
forces. David Berkowitz, the quote he gives is, "Satan had come upon me with his power." The Richard Ramirez, or the Night Stalker, who went so far as to actually make some of his victims swear to Satan. I think that has to be mentioned in the context of the cultural idea that there is a dark and satanic force.
At trial, the defense ridicules the prosecution's attempt at tying the men to the occult and counters these claims with science. There is no concrete evidence, DNA or otherwise, to tie the West Memphis Three to the murders. Despite this, the
I mean,
jury
that's true.
convicts all three men. Some believe
I mean-
they're convicted and sentenced.
I mean, I hate like. So what grounds did they convict them on? Like besides like the occult, right? Like was that the whole thing? Was that they just convicted them on circumstantial evidence?
Yo, Charlie, send me the video.
Okay.
Cause like mine's like it's encoding.
Yeah.
So like I don't know what you're talking about because I didn't get to that part.
Yeah. I mean, I could just stream to Discord too. That would be more, so you could watch it there, and that way because Discord was more active in time. Wait. Here, I'll just do this. No, wait, change. There you go. You'll see it more actively in Discord, more in real time. So, but what I'm getting at is they were talking about they convicted them, right? And then their whole defense was like, y'all don't have any concrete evidence on us, with the scene of the actual scene and stuff. But they convicted them on relation to the occult, and then the nature of the killings.
Because they just found the guys. They weren't directly like linked to the.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm gonna keep watching. I guess we'll just keep watching.
Solely because of their taste in music. And soon, A rising tide of support from the music industry will change everything. Coming up, what drove the celebrity
I don't know. You
push
listen to
release the
Nirvana,
West
so
Memphis
like, you
3?
know, might as well just lock you up right there.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's
The
not
West Memphis 3 's been
substantial
imprisoned for
evidence,
nearly
right?
2 decades. Baldwin
I
and
mean,
Miskelly are
no?
sentenced to life.
Right.
Eccles is sentenced
It's
to
like,
death.
oh,
As
you
the
listen,
years
you listen
pass,
to
however,
Wait,
Coheed and
whoa,
Cambria.
we missed something. Was he?
2 decades. Baldwin and Miskelly are sentenced to life. Eccles is sentenced to death. As the years pass, however,
what?
a campaign
Why were
to
they
overturn
sent? Okay.
convictions. Some
Oh,
of the loudest voices behind the
pause it
campaign
for a
are
minute.
well-
Imagine you're getting convicted with you and 2 of your pals. You guys have no connection to it. No factual evidence against that you were there. You were just one day listening to that Metallica album, and you were just lumped in with like you fucked and removed the balls off kids, you know. And then it's like both of your friends get life in prison, but you get sentenced to death. How did they? How?
I
'Cause-
also don't know if they actually did it neither, though. That's another thing. Like,
I mean, it's the 90s, you know.
well-known celebrities.
Balls to the
True
wall.
crime vlogger Griffin Arnland discusses the different celebrities involved with the case.
It seemed to hit a nerve with a lot of people, especially when it came to freedom of speech and expression. In an interview with 48 Hours, Johnny Depp said, "I am here because I firmly, truly, 1000% believe that Damien Eccles, Jason Baldwin, and Jesse Miskelly are totally innocent." Eddie Vedder was a huge supporter of the West Memphis 3 and freeing them, and in 2010 on Larry King, he said, "It took years of educating myself and reading and even helping funding new discoveries that allowed me to have what now I feel is 100% belief in their innocence. Now we've really got more evidence, and now with convictions, we can say without a doubt these young men don't deserve to be in prison." He also sat in the courtroom next to Damien Eccles' wife the day of their release. Henry Rollins went on a tour to raise money
Oh,
for the
they got
first
released.
round of
Okay.
DNA testing.
With the help
Well,
of their
David
celebrity friends
Eccles.
and funds, the West Memphis 3 are able to submit an Alford plea and are released in 2011.
No.
Singer of the Dixie Chicks, Natalie
Stop
Maines, took
it. Pause
to
the video.
Twitter.
Pause the video.
why do they look like a boy band? Except for this guy. This guy looks like a Reddit
1990.
nerd.
It
Like,
was 97, right?
this guy's a thumb. This guy's like a rocker, and this guy's a Reddit nerd. Like a
Surprisingly,
wannabe
the Reddit
rocker,
nerd-
and this guy's a Reddit nerd.
the Reddit nerd was the one that actually had the long hair, like the really long hair.
Who the fuck is calling me? Hello? Yes, man. I did, but I'm not quite ready to switch yet, so. Probably after Thursday. Yeah, Friday will work. Anytime after 4 is fine, or anytime after 4 is okay. But other than that, on the weekends, pretty much free. Okay. All right. Thank you. Bye. All right. Switching insurance companies. Anyways, but yeah, this guy's kind of got, like he's trying to do the wannabe rocker vibe. This guy looks like a fucking Discord mod, or a a
They
Redditor.
spent if they were
And
put
this guy
in.
and this guy looks like a cop. He's got very thumbish vibes.
Memphis 3 are able
If
to
they
I
were
don't,
put
I
in
don't know
97,
any of these guys. This is
submit an
just
Alford plea.
Like,
Released in
pause it for a minute.
2011.
The lead singer of the Dixie Chicks, Natalie Maines, took it to Twitter.
Charlie,
and
pause
said,
it for a
"Free
minute.
men are free after
what?
They were, let's say, I believe it was 97 that they were put in, or 95.
Yeah.
they were released in 2011. So basically, they spent 14 to 16 years in prison for listening to the wrong kind of music.
Oh, that's fucked, dude.
Imagine you just one day buy
Well, there
the
it
wrong
is.
album.
18 years of wrongful imprisonment. That's fucked, bro.
Imagine just like, I want to try this new album, and then life is fucked after that.
Well, that's just like the one guy who got the RuneScape guy. You know about him?
But
But
the big difference with the RuneScape guy actually said shit that he wasn't supposed to say.
that
Like,
that is true,
that was
but
karma.
but the sentence
He
was
thought-
like way overboard for what he did.
I mean, he's not gonna do it again.
I guess. Let's go.
After 18 years of wrongful imprisonment. So all of these celebrities were watching this case unfold from the very beginning and were supporting it all the way till the very end. I think the reason that these celebrities got so involved in this case is because obviously as an artist you want to be able to express yourself. When that's taken away from you, you're robbed. And these boys were just expressing themselves.
I mean, at least they didn't kill the dude. Because he was supposed to be sentenced to death, you know?
Man.
Case is because obviously as an artist you want to be able to express yourself. When that's taken away from you, you're robbed. And these boys were just expressing themselves in their teenage years, listening to heavy metal music, wearing all black, but that doesn't make you an evil person.
When the West Memphis Three successfully submit an Alford plea in 2011, Jason Baldwin, Damian Eccles, and Jesse Miskelly are released from prison. However, the case of the murders of Stevie Branch, Christopher Byers, and Michael Moore is left closed with no prospects for further investigation. Coming up, is the real killer still at large?
He killed 2 couples. He even admitted to killing his own foster child for the insurance money.
Although it's years before the internet becomes the world's premier rumor mill, alternate theories about the Robin Hood Hills murders immediately begin to spread like wildfire. True crime vlogger Stephanie Harlow explains 4 different theories that remain popular to this day. Number 1, Mr. Bojangles. A day after the victims go missing, a young mother named Vicki Hutchison visits the West Memphis police with some interesting information.
She went in there for a completely unrelated matter. When she was there, she brought her 8-year-old son, Aaron. And the police officer said, why did you bring him? And she said, I thought you might want to talk to Aaron because he's actually friends with those 3 boys that went missing. She has no idea that they've been found dead already. Aaron claimed that he'd seen Michael Moore talking to a tall, skinny black man outside of school that Wednesday that they went missing. And this guy was trying to get him to get in his car and he was going to give him a ride home. Maybe this man approached him outside of school and wanted to give him a ride home, and Michael said no. So this person followed him home, and then when he went to play with the other boys, he followed them and then killed them.
While this sounds like a child's fantasy, Aaron Hutchison's description matches that of Mr. Bojangles, an unidentified, bloody, muddy man who wandered into a nearby Bojangles restaurant the night of the murders.
Animated
Mr.
blood. Sorry.
Bojangles' description of the man who was in the restaurant that night with blood on him, it does match the description that Aaron gave to the police officer that Thursday. That Mr. Bojangles theory, to me,
The West Memphis retired detective John Cameron.
John
I
Cameron
don't think
was
that
a
that one was
veteran
blood.
police
I think
officer,
that was
and
just
he
like
came
a
up with this
recreation.
theory, and he's written 2 books on it, I believe, that says Edward Edwards was the most prolific serial killer you've never heard of. He puts him at the scene of all of these notorious murders.
Yo, have you
John
seen
Benet Ramsey,
Crime Scene Cleaners?
Elizabeth Short, Black Death.
Seen what?
Crime Scene Cleaners. It's like really fucking good. They're in the Fens Discord.
I'll have to check that out.
Of course, you can't. It's in the name.
Yeah.
They deal a lot with like decompositions, or the dude was just found like 10 days, 20 days after, like a month, 2 months, or like big scale hoarders where they have to like throw everything out. It was the Pet Cemetery one where it's like this hoarder woman, 40-year-old woman. No, it was around 50 or 60. Died of unknown illness. They think it's a heart attack. She was mentally ill. She lived with her daughter that was around 20 something. She was also mentally ill. So when the mother died of a supposed heart attack, the the daughter just killed herself right then and there.
Wow.
So like nobody knew. Like the family members was like they always kept to themselves. Even the neighbors, they were just like, you couldn't have told me that. That was a horror. Charlie, rooms that were to the ceiling with trash that you couldn't get into.
That's wild.
And
did
they found.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
They found around 10 to 15 dead cats, like actual like carcasses. They got some cats out like on their last legs, but they were dead cats around the house, Charlie. And like cockroaches. They like that's the longest they've spent. It was like 2 weeks. They were just because she bought the house. Like the person that owns the thing bought the house so that she could renovate it and then sell it. But Charlie, they took out the walls. It's a 2-part video. It's really fucking good. Yeah, you were saying?
Check that out. Have you seen the one it's like this guy who killed his girlfriend's sister, and it started with that, and then they went through and killed a bunch of other people. Like
that was me.
Him
That
and
pinged you.
Huh?
That was if you got a ping, that was me. I was pinging you to the link. They killed his sister?
Yeah, I don't remember the case. I'd have to look into it. They killed his girlfriend's sister, and then him and the girlfriend apparently went on a murdering spree of their own after they had gotten married and stuff.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, like it's crazy. I'd have to find it, but
Dahlia, West Memphis 3, Lacey Peterson, the Zodiac, everything that's unsolved essentially has been attributed.
So they were like, it's one of those unsolved killers. Wow.
Edwards. This is bananas. Edward Edwards was a man who wanted to be famous. I think if he'd been responsible for all of these notorious murders, he would have been shouting it from the rooftops. He was a serial killer. I just don't believe that he was as active as Cameron claims that he was. He killed 2 couples. He even admitted to killing his own foster child for the insurance money. He would not have missed a chance to come forward and take responsibility for some of the most notorious murders and unsolved crimes the world has ever known.
Number 3, John Mark Byers, the father of victim Christopher Byers. John Mark Byers becomes notorious for his bizarre behavior in the Paradise Lost series of documentaries about the West Memphis 3.
John Mark Byers was the favorite going into Paradise Lost.
Byers arouses suspicion by having all of his teeth removed around the time of the murders. The victims have bite marks.
He had told the police that he'd gotten his teeth removed 2 months before. Dental records proved that it had been 4 years after they were murdered. You could say if he was guilty and he didn't want his dental records to be matched to the bite marks, then he would have had his teeth removed really soon. He wouldn't have waited 4 years. But he also lied about when he got them removed. Why did he lie? He had issues with selling drugs and drug possession. Most likely he was lying and kind of acting sketchy in order to hide that illegal activity, not murdering 3 young boys. John Mark Byers was incredibly distraught about the loss of his son, Christopher. He was like the first one out in the woods. He was out there all night. He was on the police's case about helping out more, and if you're guilty of killing these kids, you're probably not going to want to bring police presence in as soon as possible.
Number 4, Terry Hobbs,
are you okay?
The stepfather of victim Stevie Branch.
Terry Hobbs was never actually formally interviewed by the police until many years later. He has a background of being violent and having a temper. His ex-wife accused him of beating her and abusing her, and he was actually seen with the boys by a neighbor. She saw Terry Hobbs walking towards the 3 boys who were on bikes and yelling at them, hollering at them to come home. And then she saw these 3 boys go towards him. if this sighting is true, you really have right in your hands the last person to be seen with these boys while they were still alive. He was the only one of the parents that didn't have an alibi that checked out.
So what is Hobbs' alibi? Hobbs claims he spent the evening of the murders with his friend David Jacoby.
Terry used David Jacoby as his
And
alibi.
David is
Instead
dead.
of looking for Stevie, Terry went to David Jacoby's house. Terry claims that when he went to David Jacoby's house, he said, "Will you come with me and search for, these boys?" And that they left. But David Jacoby says that Terry got there and Terry and David were playing guitars. And then finally, after doing this for a little while, that's when Terry said, "Oh, Stevie's missing. I should probably look for him. I think we should go look in the woods. So I'm gonna go home and change my clothes and get a flashlight. You can change your clothes and get a flashlight, and then I'll pick you back up." But Terry never came back. And this was when everybody in the town had gone out and started searching for these boys in the woods. So you could hear their names being screamed through these woods as the full moon rose. And Terry claims he was part of this search party. Nobody else who was searching the woods that night for the boys remembers him being there. So you don't really have an alibi. Additionally, Stevie's aunt says that the day that they went missing, Terry came home and he was like cleaning, and he was cleaning Stevie's room, and he was doing laundry. And she noticed this because this was so out of character for him. He wasn't the kind of guy who's gonna help his wife out with the housework.
Unfortunately, chances of any of these leads being followed at this point are pretty slim.
The West Memphis PD is not going to be like, "Oh yeah, we were wrong. Let's admit that and let's pursue this angle." They're going to pretty much be like, "Listen, people are already doing time for this. Move on with your life. We already have."
Despite all of the collateral damage left in the wake of the Robin Hood Hills murders, it's not likely that the case will ever be solved. Only new evidence or the confession of the real killer will ever bring closure to the victims' families. Only then will we know what really happened in those woods in West Memphis.
Damn.
Interesting.
But that happened.
In
That was like literally like 10 miles up the road from where I live. Pretty wild.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty wild.
Mm.
The case of Randy Stair is pretty crazy.
Uh-huh.
But I've already seen it. The case of Randy Stair. He was a YouTuber who was obsessed with this character in Danny Phantom. Whatever the fuck that show. Yeah, Danny Phantom. And ended up doing a shooting at the place that he worked.
I'm sorry, what?
I guess
So-
we can watch that. Hold on.
What does Danny Phantom have to do with like?
Hold on. We'll just watch it because it is really good. I wonder if this is the one that I watched. Or if it was the Explore With Us video. It might be the Explore With Us.
It was all there in front of your face, you know? Welcome to reality.
The man you're looking at is 24-year-old YouTuber Randy Stair. He's obsessed with two things not often found together, the cartoon Danny Phantom and Columbine. Although this should have raised red flags when Randy's descent into madness went overlooked by those around him, nothing would stand in his way from becoming a mass killer. What's up, Iwu crew? It's the Raven, here to share another shocking, interesting, or
I
just
don't think those
strange but
characters
very
behind
true
are
story
real.
with you. Today's subject is Randy
Or
Stair,
I
more
just probably
popularly
don't
remembered
remember
as
Danny
Andrew
Phantom that
Blaze.
much.
Despite being known by his YouTube pseudonym, I'm going to use his legal name Randy when talking about him, as this is the name that would eventually become infamous. What makes this case uniquely disturbing is the fact that Randy actually videotaped everything, up until the day of his massacre, and left behind a trail of disturbing clues in preparation for his final plan. And although all the signs were there that something was about to go very wrong, Randy's fans either ignored it or didn't take it seriously. But Randy was dead serious, and I'm not exaggerating when I say the motive behind his massacre is the most bizarre I've ever heard. Randy first became interested in YouTube in 2008, eventually creating a channel called Pioneer Productions. At first, his content seemed pretty normal. He created Let's Plays, filming himself and his reactions as he played video games. And sometimes he'd act out skits with a toy frog and stuffed whale. He rubbed shoulders with some popular creators in YouTube's early days. He was mentioned at one point in a Ray William Johnson video, bragged that Fred supposedly liked one of his videos, and was even friends with Plasma Master Dawn, a YouTuber who recently died and was then allegedly exposed as a sex
Master
offender.
Dawn.
But as Randy's videos went on, there was a noticeable change. You see, Randy was obsessed with the Nickelodeon cartoon Danny Phantom, which follows the adventures of main character Danny Fenton, who became a human-ghost hybrid after an accident involving the portal between the human world and the ghost zone. This is where Randy first saw the character Ember McLean. She was his first crush, and the moment he laid eyes upon her in his late elementary years, he said he instantly felt something change within him.
Like, if you look on the poster behind me, those
I'm
were
really
inspired
not
by
remind-
Ember McLean, which is a
I mean,
ghost
it was
from
awful,
a
like,
TV show
fucking
called Danny Phantom, which started
20
back in
years.
2001.
Was?
20? I'm stupid. Like
I'm
15.
guessing that is blurred out because it's actual footage of the show, and it's done for copyright. Yeah. Okay.
He said it that he like reacted like that shit.
Yeah.
He like liked it. I mean, I also don't remember how long Danny Phantom was on for. I know I just stopped watching it when I was out of it.
2004. You know, I was in late elementary school at that time. But this ghost, this woman always connected with me. But ever since I first saw her, something changed. And it wasn't like I grew up or anything like that. Like I realized, oh my gosh, I'm attracted to girls and all this. No, it just, something changed. It was like a spark. And it just connected with me. It made me feel warm inside. And it felt very familiar, which was strange. It was like I'd seen her before.
He said his official Ember phase started in 2010, but later said this obviously wasn't a phase, but a realization. As Randy fell down the rabbit hole of this infatuation, he created his own spin-off characters, also known as OCs, original characters, along with his own animated series based on the show. This series was called Ember's Ghost Squad, obviously inspired by Ember McLean. Randy was so invested in his animated series that he had stickers of his fictional characters on his car. What started out as a seemingly innocent partaking of a fandom was
It is very cringy, by the way.
Was about to turn into something far more disturbing. But in hindsight, perhaps the signs of Randy's dark side were evident in his early years. As a child, Randy was described as shy. He desperately wanted friends and began struggling with thoughts of death in elementary school, fantasizing that he'd board a plane and it would crash so it would be an insta-death. Death was even a reoccurring theme in the games Randy would play as a child, making the childhood videos he'd upload all the more eerie to look back on.
I mean, low-key, plane crash would be the easiest way to die. You don't feel anything. So, kind of understand, because like...
I mean, is that true, though?
I mean, if it just crashes and you die there, yes, but because you can survive a plane crash. Plane can crash, not actually explode, because you can crash into water.
You're saying if it explodes, it's kind of like the thing where like if a nuclear bomb went off beside you, that would be kind of an okay way to die because it would just be instant.
You don't feel anything, but if it was in the next state, it would be the worst because then you would just be like falling apart because of radiation poisoning.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's like you can survive a plane crash.
It's not that easy. I can't suffer, not just me, but all the people who made me suffer.
Why do I die so much? It's good to be living.
No, it's not.
His loneliness would follow him into high school. Though he described having a few friends, he never had a girlfriend or went on a date. It was during this time that Randy seemed to start crying out for help through attention-seeking behavior, such as writing stories in class where the characters would die horrible and gruesome deaths. He couldn't believe his teachers didn't care.
I must have wrote like 4 or 5 stories where the character got killed at the end, and I actually turned these in as assignments, and I never got like any like weird looks from the teacher or anything. She was a nice teacher and everything, really great. Yeah, the teacher never like felt concerned or anything. I just remember not getting any feedback in terms of that, so I don't know.
I mean, he was literally crying for help, by the way. That's what's
I
fucked
mean,
up
what
about
was
this.
what was the fucking not the Columbine, the one before Columbine in 99, I believe it was, where they just went in with the trench coats. Which school was that?
Oh, I don't remember.
But you know which one I'm talking about, right?
I'm not that deep in the school shooting lore.
I mean, it's like the second, it's like one of the like most important ones. That's why you can't really wear like long coats to school. Because like they banned it in like most public schools because the dudes just went in with like trench coats, and that's where they hid their guns, and they went into the school. Like, have you seen Matrix?
Oh yeah, I've seen Matrix.
Like you see like the coat that Neo has.
Yeah.
Basically, they had the guns there, and when they went through the doors, they just took out the guns and started shooting.
Yeah.
And it's like one of the most like shocking ones because they look like ordinary guys.
What she was
But they were just like, again, there's signs. You don't wake up and want to kill everybody, you know?
Yeah, no.
But
soon enough, Randy started investing more time into Pioneer Productions, and it wasn't long before YouTube became his passion in life. He eventually decided to dedicate all his time to his channel. It was during this time that Randy seemed to get more and more isolated. He was almost always alone in his videos. Something inside Randy would begin to break in his late high school years as he prepared to enter the real world. He began getting poor grades as he neared graduation, and he hated his job working at the Wise supermarket.
And high school, I was that typical jaded teenager, you know, just don't want to be here, don't want to do anything. I'm bored with my life. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. You know, the typical teenage drama you deal with. And
having no clue what he wanted to do with his life, he started to go down a dark path, fantasizing about setting himself on fire like the cartoon character Ember and taking his own life. And something would happen to Randy that would change him forever. One of his brother's friends, Tom, died in a car crash.
Tom Lynch. He was in my brother's grade. He's a grade below me, but I've had a class with him before and whatnot, so I knew him. And he died on his way to school in the morning. Crashed into a tree. Smashed into a tree. Dead on arrival at the hospital. And that was the first time I got messed up. That messed me up.
Though he hadn't known Tom well, he said his death really affected him. His daydreams in class became consumed with either YouTube or death. And his growing fixation on the morbid subject would lead him to start a strange tradition, driving by the location of Tom's death every year on the same day he died.
When I'm not thinking
I mean,
about
that
YouTube
could be seen as paying
or my
homage, you know?
family or what I love, I'm always thinking about what happens after you die. I want to do everything I possibly can in life before I'm dead. And that's just a scary thought. It's like everything has to end sometime. I'll be dead one day. You'll be dead one day. It's not good to think about stuff like that. I know this is scary stuff, but it is just weird, and I think about it too much.
Randy claimed to be struck by tragedy again after one of his newest friends, Matt, also suddenly died in a car accident. He wrote in his journal, "Tom's death sucked the life out of me. Matt's death killed me."
Doesn't matter what you do, you're gonna die. You'll end up dead one day. It's like right now. Someone right now is going to sleep. They're gonna wake up tomorrow and be dead. Someone's gonna die tomorrow that just went to sleep. And they don't know that. They're gonna go to sleep now, wake up tomorrow, go into the world, and they're gonna die somehow. Car accident, heart attack, some other
because he said
supernatural
he's just
force,
gonna
whatever.
wake up
Yeah,
and be
just-
dead. And
I
just
think
like,
about that a lot,
that
too,
doesn't
which
work
is
like
weird.
that.
I think about death a lot. And I take no shame in thinking about dying a lot, but I seriously do think about death all the time, and it's not a good thing. Death
I can see where he's
fun
going
to think
from.
about. In a way, it's like an escape. For me, it is.
Not long after, Randy himself ended up getting
Not
into
saying
a car
I wanna shoot up the
accident, and it
pool,
was
you know,
like
but
this event flipped a switch
I
in
can
him,
see.
causing his obsessions to spiral.
No, like I've talked about before, like obsessive nihilism can lead to very depressive states. I don't necessarily think that obsessive nihilism can always leads to like being a fucking school shooter. That's not it. But like, you know, you have to have people need purpose, no
I
matter
mean,
what you believe. Like,
all I'm saying is that this is a USA thing. There's something wrong over here because you don't hear. Oh, did you hear the school that got shot up in Europe? No.
I
It's
mean,
like
serial killer. I mean, serial murders and shootings happen in other countries all the time.
yeah, but not, it's not like you're gonna go see like, oh, one of the students just shut up the school.
Well, also that has a lot to do with accessibility to weapons as well, which I don't want to get into the conversation of gun rights and gun control or anything like that. Um, yeah, that's not really something that I really want to talk about. But I also think that a lot of that has to do with accessibility to weapons in our country as well. Um, but I think on the more philosophical side, obsessive nihilism is damaging. Like um, to the point of like depression and anxiety. Like for instance, when I decided that my that I wasn't going to be Christian anymore, and my views were shaken up. That like I was probably coming to terms with the fact that I was more atheist than uh, you know. A lot of it, I had a lot of time where I was searching like it was like what's the point of anything, and I got really depressed.
Mm.
And then I realized that that's for me to decide, like
Mm-hmm.
my purpose. Like I only give my life purpose, so I got to make sure that it has purpose, and that um you know.
It's
But
like, well,
but
you got that. I didn't feel anything when I decided to be non-practicing. I
yeah,
just don't practice any religion. I respect all religion. I can talk to you about any religion. I can help you with any religious views, but I'm just like not practicing, and like that detachment hasn't really affected me in any way.
yeah,
Because it's like, of course, we're two different people. Like, what the world wouldn't be fun if everybody was the same.
right. Well, I
And
think
it's
I
like,
think it's important to have purpose. Is I guess is what I'm getting at. Like
mm,
nihilism puts like obsessive nihilism will put you in a place that of like, well, what's the purpose in anything? Like we're all just people on a rock,
mhm.
and it can lead to shit like this. But I would say that it's more.
Hey, Charlie, don't shoot up the school.
I'm not gonna shoot up the
Stop,
fucking school.
stop.
Oh my god.
Into an
But
even darker
100%, if I saw this kid in my class, I wouldn't talk to him. He just has that energy of on. I don't think he told anybody to just don't come to school today. They just said we're gonna have a pizza party. Cause fuck, he's
Well, that's kind of
insane.
fucked up too, because in reality, that's like the one kid that needs somebody to talk to him, that like needs friends. But yeah, that's really unfortunate.
I mean, we
deeper
also
place.
like didn't see like, of course, the school failed him. Like, we're not gonna say that the school, because you can be anybody. You can find a piece of paper in the ground that just says, "I want to kill everybody around me," and you're just gonna be like, "Drop this," because this person like needs someone to talk to. And but you're getting like, dude, he said it himself. He did a story. The teacher had to read the story and grade the paper
Yeah.
and give it back and just said nothing.
Yep.
It's like this isn't like, oh,
I
just
feel like the teacher didn't even read the fucking story. She probably just skimmed it, checked the the grammar, and said, "All right."
probably.
Yeah. Anyways,
And it's just
Randy began to fixate on the idea of getting older, and this idea terrified him. This fear would eventually
he's
warp into a
really funny.
disgust for older people, and Randy decided that living past the age of 30 was pointless. It was here that he decided he wanted to die young and soon.
There would be no possible way I could live until I was 60-something. Not a chance in hell. Honestly, I don't know how people do it. I don't know how people get up every day and go to like a dead-end job, come home, do the same exact routine every day, every weekend. How do you honestly do that? I was never able to compute it in my head. How do you live on this planet for decades upon decades upon decades? I honestly don't know how you do it.
At the same time, Randy was developing some other strange ideas involving the cartoon character Ember, writing in his journal. I miss my cartoon-like form. Bodies in this dimension are tolerable, but they're nothing compared to that dimension.
And
you can't just really say like Ember. Who the fuck is Ember?
Into my life. It was in 2013.
Which one is Ember?
That was it. From that point forward, she never left my life again. Ever.
He became convinced that after he died, he would return to his true form, a ghost girl just like Ember, and that he'd live on with the fictional characters he'd created in Ember's Ghost Squad, or EGS. This was what Randy called his big realization,
I respect him. He's
that
a
he
Beatles
didn't belong
fan.
here on Earth. He was actually a ghost girl, and the only way he could return to what he was truly supposed to be was by dying. During this time, he also began struggling with his gender identity, leading him to experiment with wearing bras.
I guess what it came down to was I felt like I was like transgender or something. Like I felt like a woman the whole time, which spiritually I'm a woman. I'm a female soul. But I had to live in a man's body to do what I set out to do. That was my soul contract. That was what I was meant to do.
He eventually stole clothes out of his mother's closet and cross-dressed when
that's even more fucked, because like if he was like transgender, right? Like he probably had a lot of internalized transphobia, which
he has a lot of things.
Yeah,
it's whole can of worms.
That is a can. That by itself is a can of worms in and of itself, because like if you're have a lot of internalized transphobia, but you are also, have gender dysphoria. That's
When did he shoot up the school? Was it like past 2010?
I think so. I mean, it was after Columbine, because he talked about how he accepted the Columbine shooting. So, I think it was
I'm just saying that if he would have waited like a few years, he would have really fit in with the anime community. Because like back in those days, like anime was seen as a cliche, like not cliche, like a niche thing. It's just like, why are you an adult watching cartoons? And it's like, but now it's grown more like it's okay. Well, it's always been okay. You can enjoy whatever the fuck you want, you know. But it's being like, even in Japan, it's being looked in more in a different way than it was like 10 years ago. Right. It's like, this is actual media, not because if it's animated, it's like cartoon.
Right.
It's not for kids.
I was cross-dressing ever since high school. When you guys would go to your bowling leagues and Jeremy would go with you, I would either film a YouTube video, back in early high school, 9th, 10th, 11th grade. I would pretty much always film a YouTube video between 9th and 10th grade on every Wednesday when you would go out the door. So I would either film a video or I would cross-dress. And that's something I've kept to myself my whole life. I never told anybody about this.
He wrote in his journal, "I sit here alone on my bed full of emptiness. I'm wearing my girl clothes with my legs crossed. Why am I damned to spend 2 to 3 decades in this disgusting body? I'm not a man. Sorry, Mom and Dad, but I'm not sorry. I'm a woman. Each and every day it gets harder and harder to live in this body. I'm wearing my female natural selection shirt with my American Eagle bra, panties, and black leggings. I guess the proper term would be transgender, but I don't even fully agree on that. I'm legit a girl trapped inside a boy's body. I'm a femme soul." Randy began taking action to change his appearance in order to better match his ghost girls. He skipped meals when he could, surprised that his family didn't notice, and started shaving all of his body hair with a woman's razor. At first, he hid his razor in a drawer in his room, but then for some reason decided
you could have
to keep
shaved
it
your
out
body
in the
with
open.
any razor.
Again, he couldn't believe
My guy,
that no one
it didn't
noticed.
have to be.
Perhaps it started to seem to him like nothing he did really made a difference. Maybe he started thinking he'd need to do something more drastic to get people's attention.
Every year of my life since 2013, I just felt more and more feminine.
Didn't you for sure they noticed then?
Look at the bathroom. Look at where my stuff was. You'll see there's a girl's Venus razor there. There's the Skintimate stuff that girls use to shave their legs and arms with. Every
low key, if you have sensitive skin, you need a girl's razor.
Yeah.
Because like girls' razors are made for sensitive skin, and there's men with sensitive skin. So like probably like from the parent side, they're just like, oh, maybe he has a sensitive body, and like regular men's razors that are usually rough.
Yeah, but it gets crazier as it goes on.
I mean, you say like it hasn't been a crazy ride since the start.
Yeah, it's true. It gets way crazier though. It's
3 days since like 2016, I've been shaving my arms and legs and entire body every 3 days. It's just one thing I'll say is like that white stain on the floor, like that splotch you'll see on my carpet. That was an Ember thing. I wanted to make my skin as white as possible to look like her. I wanted it to be completely white, so I bought this body paint, which was like, I don't even know what it was. It was like latex that like it becomes like glued to your skin and you gotta peel it off. And it got on the carpet and then it got freaking in my body hair, which like almost never came out at the time. What little body hair I had at the time anyways, but that stuff never came off. It's funny. Yeah, you're over there sleeping and here I am at 3 in the morning covering myself in this latex.
Randy's inner turmoil was far from over, and although his passion for Ember would continue to intensify, it wasn't long before he was forming a new obsession, the Columbine High School massacre. He began frequently posting on a Columbine forum and participating in different threads, even a thread for sharing Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold memes. One post that caught his attention
I'm guessing
read,
those are the killers.
I know the students finished the 1999 school year at a nearby school, but I was wondering if they still had to complete their final exams. What about exams for the injured? It'd be so mean to make Patrick take them after he got out of the hospital. Randy replied, I never thought about that, ha ha ha. Tests had to be the last thing on the surviving victims' minds. To me, Randy just seemed like one of those people who, when he's interested in something, he dives in head first with an almost uncanny
pause it
hyperfixation.
real quick.
But
he actually brought up a point that I've never thought about. How do you just go back to school after that?
Yeah.
That's like, I'm guessing they were homeschooled, like, you know.
I imagine there's a lot of people that get pulled out and go to homeschooling after that. Like just because of the mental trauma and yeah, I mean.
Sometimes it takes insane people to ask the realest questions.
Fortunately,
I never thought about that.
His obsessions were healthy, and now Randy was starting to get ideas. He was also starting to feel increasingly lost in life. During a live stream from 2014, 3 years before his plan, Randy suddenly announced to the dismay of his fans that he wouldn't be around much longer and would probably be leaving YouTube for reasons he couldn't state.
Not leaving right this second. It could be a year, it could be a little bit longer than that. I don't have anything set in stone or anything like that. There's multiple reasons for it. I don't know, I don't really know.
So this is 2014.
It's just like I'm leaving in like a year.
He ranted about how his YouTube channel was all he ever wanted to do, and how graduating from college for mass communications was a waste of 3 years, because it was a field he said he would never enter. He had his passion for YouTube, but after working at it for 6 years, he was sure he had failed. Having to accept this and figure out a different way to earn money seemed quite difficult for him.
You know, it's like YouTube's not a job or anything like that, but it really is like I have 2 different jobs in my life and having to balance each one. The one I care about most is YouTube, but it's not a job, and that's literally all my time goes into the YouTube channel. I just can't deal with everything anymore.
He also talked about how much he hated his job at the supermarket, but he had to keep it for the money.
Supermarket for 4 years. I'm about to set the place on fire. Right now, that's my only source of income, and I'm not making a lot. I wish I could just do this forever. I wish I could just interact with viewers, do videos, but life doesn't allow that.
He also alluded to something extremely telling.
There's so much more than just like real life problems. There's other stuff too, that just what's in my head of what I want to do, and just things I don't want to say publicly because it would hurt a lot of people.
But somehow, even after this pessimistic live stream, Randy said that 2014 ended up being one of his best years, and so he held off on planning the grand escape from his human body. However, it wasn't long until...
It's also worth mentioning that Natural Selection t-shirt is one of the shirts that one of the Columbine shooters wore.
Ah, really?
Yep, that's why he wears it.
Began to feel dissatisfied with life once again, and in 2017 he decided it was time. But before he could do anything, he wanted to
17.
finish off the EGS animation project he'd been working on. That, and he needed a weapon. He thought he'd be able to go forward with his big plan in September, figuring he'd finish his project by then. He tried to figure out a way he could decide the date based on coding the letters EGS, E being 5, G being 7, and S being 19, placing his big plan for 5,
Oh, so this was the other
19.
day.
But as the days went by...
Huh?
This was the other day. Because if we remove COVID here, like, this was basically the other day.
Yeah.
He realized he couldn't wait 2 years. He wanted to die so he could become the ghost girl that was clawing to get out.
14, 13, 12 days away from doing this, you know?
He wanted
this is
to
it.
become the ghost girl that was trying to claw. You can't just say that with a straight face.
There's a lot on my mind. If you're in my position, you'd have a lot on your mind too. Every day, I have to make count. You know, this is it.
Oh, I
Just
fucking
under
bet if
2
I was in
weeks
his
to
position,
live.
it'll be-
You got 2
I
weeks
had
to
a lot
live.
of
What do you do? Goddess forbid, if somebody does see me blocking the exits, I don't know what they'd say. I don't know what I'd say. Tired of the same old routine. Tired of everything but my girls. That's really it.
In the meantime, Randy began filming a set of tapes for his parents to view after his death, planning to post them online just before he struck. He ranted in his journal about how much he hated humanity and how he was a self-described narcissist who enjoyed watching the tapes of himself over and over again. Pages upon pages of the journal were dedicated to rambling about the Columbine massacre, as he described again and again how he was sucked into the world of Columbine and how he felt a special connection, especially to Eric Harris. He also revealed he was extremely homophobic and racist, writing extensively about his hatred for gay people. His goal to finish the animation project before he died wasn't working out. He complained in his journal that the voiceover actresses he hired weren't going fast enough, and he freaked out when an animator didn't want to work on his project because he wasn't comfortable with the theme. See, Randy's animation project was called The Westboro High Massacre, so all things considered, it's weird enough that he found anyone comfortable to even voice act for it.
Still don't have it.
I mean, money's
sent
money.
the script in March. It's June 2nd. Where's my voiceovers, Laura, that I paid for? Where are they? Better have that voiceover by Monday, Laura. You're dead. Makes you feel like you don't even matter. Remember that when you work with people in the future. Because I expected to have this months ago. At least say what's going on so I know. It makes you feel like you don't matter. What the ever. People are worthless stacks of Nobody cares until you're dead. It's the sad truth of life. Watch all my social medias. I can't believe he's dead. I'm so sad. I loved his videos. You haven't seen jack on my social media since. And after this happens, people will be like, man, I wish I would have talked to them more. Well, too late. It's always what happened with my fan base. As much as I love my fans.
I mean, literally, his whole thing was just like a bunch of fucking cries for help. Like, all over the goddamn place. Like, and like, nobody paid attention to it. Or if they noticed it, they just said, nah. That's too big a can of worms.
No
I mean, just by, like, I feel like I'm a girl in a man's body, but I hate the gays and the trans. That's like, you can just.
To me until I've said
And that's a tip of the iceberg.
something big. Like, oh, I'm leaving. If nothing major was happening, it was like I didn't even exist. What the ever. Swear to goddess. People can say they cared about me all they want. You didn't.
Did he just say I swear to goddess?
I mean, he is insane. So like,
I'm pretty sure he just said I swear to goddess. Hold up.
I wouldn't be surprised if he said, I swear to Ember, you know?
Goddess. People can say they cared about me all they want. You didn't ever. Swear to goddess. People can say they cared about me all they
That's
want.
cringy.
Show it. But I was subscribed to you for years. Who cares? You never said anything. People say they care. I don't care. It's too late now.
But eventually, everything fell apart with the people he was working with. His project was stuck, and he decided he'd had enough, that he couldn't wait any longer. He purchased 2 shotguns, writing in his journal, "You were a fool to trust me with that shotgun. Oh, mother, if only you realized you just
Motherfucker
signed
went
my death warrant by
akimbo.
taking me to that gun
Like,
shop."
That just
I'm sorry. He went akimbo, dual shotguns. What the fuck?
happened. Oh my goddess. Oh my goddess. I am armed.
He made cardboard cutouts.
I am armed. I got it. I got it. 2 Mossberg 500 shotguns. My boss has been trying to get on day shift or second shift. He had an opportunity to get it, but the way things are looking, he's not gonna get it. So then also put me like on the clock here because it's like he's been trying to look for other places to work. The way I see it, I can just barely have enough time to do all this within 4 weeks. I want it to be the night of June 9th.
So he showed up to school or
I have
what?
2 shotguns now. They know I have the one, but then if they see that I have the exact same gun, but 2 inches shorter on the barrel, it'd be like, why do you need that? And that's when it starts to get into like personal stuff. Like, why do you need 2 shotguns? You're scaring me. Please don't start buying more guns. You know, I have all the pieces. I'm just waiting on getting some eyeliner. So far, it's been okay. I've gotten the occasional like,
I'm sorry.
This Columbine, but other than that, virtually nothing. I don't think people would actually like think I would actually consider doing something like this.
He took target practice videos in what appeared to be in his backyard with someone else holding the camera and filming him. It makes you wonder who exactly was filming him and how they couldn't have realized something was about to go very wrong, especially taking Randy's shirt into consideration, the same shirt Eric Harris wore on the day of the Columbine massacre.
Should I hit the button?
There's
What
no
happened
way in
next is
hell.
almost unbelievable. Randy began deliberately leaving a disturbing trail of notes and tweets that he was planning something, and the date for his plan was June 7th. He was not being very subtle at all, but still nobody seemed to even care. In his journal, Randy seemed almost disappointed that his parents didn't notice he was planning something. He wore his natural selection shirt time and time again, and was shocked that his parents didn't catch the reference.
But Eric Harris had a white t-shirt, black
Honestly,
text,
I
natural
didn't- I
selection.
didn't-
I bought 3 of them. Yet
I
none of
didn't
you knew
even
what
know
it
that
meant,
natural
which
selection was
blew
a
my
thing,
mind.
so,
I
like-
didn't want to tell you that, so I kept that under wraps. That's a warning sign.
He wrote, "How she hasn't questioned me or seen the signs is beyond me."
Looking back now, you might realize, geez, I don't know how I missed it. You might just start having flashbacks in your head of certain things, like certain situations where it's like, wow, that was one of them, or that was a warning sign right there. Or...
He wondered in his journal if he would have fangirls who would obsess over him. "That'd be great," he wrote. He began tweeting a series of alarming messages, not only on his main Twitter account, but on the variety of alternate Twitter accounts he had created to roleplay or pretend to be his characters.
You know, I wrote all this dark, brutal, morbid, grim stuff into my videos, and people ate it up, and they loved it. They didn't realize that I actually meant it all. I started posting on all my social media how I really felt. Amber was always there in this dark place, like I mentioned. She fueled me to do this. It was like she told me to do this. Do it for the Ghost Squad. You know, we need more souls.
He even convinced himself that one of his own
Amy Rose told me to go kill them.
Was his soulmate. He drew himself
She
as
wanted
a
me to
ghost
be with
girl
Sonic.
Mackenzie holding hands, captioned, "Love this girl." Posing as these characters on multiple Twitter accounts, he took on their personalities and
go back,
pretended he was
go back.
all of them.
What?
So I kept
Go
that
back.
under wraps.
That's the Twitter
That's
thing.
a warning sign.
Fangirls who would obsess characters.
Ghost Squad. You know, we need more souls.
He even convinced
How
himself
many
that one
did
of
he
his
have?
own fictional
500?
characters he had created, Mackenzie, was his soulmate. He drew him.
Okay. He didn't have many people like him.
Well, this was a different Twitter account too. This wasn't his main.
Oh, it wasn't his main?
Yeah, no. Mackenzie West, one of the characters that he made.
Himself as a ghost girl with Mackenzie holding hands, captioned, "Love this girl." Posing as these characters on multiple Twitter accounts, he took on their personalities and
Just
pretended
saying,
he
how
was
has
all of them, tweeting at each other,
Nintendo,
but
huh?
really just at
Okay.
himself. Before Randy's big plan, the Ember Ghost Squad Twitter account tweeted,
Nickelodeon,
"If you think
not
your body is ready
DMCA.
for
How did like that not happen?
June 7th, then you're gravely mistaken. 17 days is
I-
your
that- is
calendar
that
marked.
his?
This is a different one too.
Motherfucker had like 15 Twitter accounts. The fuck?
Hashtag big things. Hashtag June 7th. As the days counted down to his plan, he posted under his Mackenzie account, "I can't take my eyes off the countdown clock. Andrew isn't crazy, just caught in the middle of 2 worlds and dimensions. People don't see or understand that." Looking back on these Twitter accounts just feels weird. As you're
I feel dirty.
I made the mistake of helping humans in their suffering now become.
looking in on Randy's alter egos, Randy made his character Mackenzie calm and shy, while he made his other character Rachel violent and angry. In speaking through his characters, he would tweet back and forth about his plans in the wide open for everyone to see. The only thing I can think is maybe people assumed the edgy and haunting content of the posts was Randy's way of really getting into the ghost-themed characters. But to him, the fun and games, the pretending, had ended a long time ago. What might be most notable about his accounts is his character Rachel's clear obsession with Columbine. Clearly, his two worlds were now inextricably intertwined. At this point, Randy was completely lost in his fictional world and convinced that he would die and come back as one of his characters. It was his own fantasy that would spell his doom. And as his social media antics continued and time slowly ran out, it should have been obvious to anyone following his Twitter accounts that something was very wrong. Here's where things get chilling. Randy wanted to go out with a bang, and in a sickening twist, he decided it would all come down to a coin flip. Whether he would commit a massacre at home or at the supermarket where he worked the night shift. And this is what happened.
Okay, so here's the deal. Got a 1983 quarter right here. You believe in fate? Here's the fate test. I'm gonna flip this 3 times, or the best out of 3 rather. And if it's heads, I'll do it here. If it's tails, supermarket. Best of 3. Here we go. Not gonna touch it. You will see it as I see it.
I would have lost the quarter.
I can find it.
Honestly,
That's a tails.
It's a miracle he found it.
See that? 2. Looking at it. You land, you son of here. Heads. Had to be, huh? Have to have it come down to the very last coin flip. Okay.
Almost as if
This is
if
it.
it's 50-50.
For all the marbles. Except we're playing for like much more than marbles here. I can't believe I'm having this come down to a coin flip. The flip of a coin. Here it goes. 1, 2, 3. It's gonna land behind the camera. Just to the side. I can't see it. I see it in the grass, but I can't see it. Tails.
So supermarket it is, right?
That is a tails, folks. Tails. Which means there's going to be a loss of a human life besides my own. Possibly more than one.
No, work.
That's fate for you.
And just like that, it was decided with something as
And he
trivial
posted
as
that?
the flip of a coin. The fates of innocent people were sealed, and they had no idea about any of it.
Ready to die. Ready to go.
I don't know if he posted that or if he left it
Hear that?
for them to find afterwards.
That's how quiet it's going to be in my house for a week. I want to know how everyone's going to take this. How much they're going to cry. How long are they going to cry for? For all I know, this story could just be headlines one day around here and then be gone. It might not even become anything for all I know.
On June 1st, 2017, Randy posted that he was going to need the help of his fans the next Wednesday night. Randy said he needed someone to record a brief live stream of him.
I decided to broadcast it live on Facebook. I know something's going to end the stream.
Why is it always Facebook?
Flagged, whatever.
In his next message on June 2nd, Randy talks about the Westboro High Massacre video he made, which he promised would come out on June 7th.
What happened? What the happened, man? This is surreal right now, but I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think this is going to be my last video. I don't know what will happen to my channels after this. I don't know what people are going to think of me after this. It doesn't bother me, but just looking at everyone at the supermarket,
the manager's coming in. Da 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 da, just messing around, talking about this, and 4 more nights your whole lives are gonna be turned upside down because of me. I'm gonna f your life up. I can't wait. I want that supermarket to be closed for like a month or go out of business. It's a crime scene. It's gonna be a crime scene. And then it'll be over. And then everything will just be thrown away. Whoever would have thought that a cartoon character would cause this to happen? A cartoon character. How can a cartoon character bring all this out in you? How is that even possible?
At least
the
he's
biggest question will always be why. I only partially told you why. I'm not gonna tell you everything. And there's stuff that you still don't know about me that I'll never tell you. I'll take it to the grave. Em, you want a chip? I'm not a psychopath. I don't hunt people down and kill them. I need to eat something substantial. I'm dying here. Take away YouTube, I'm nothing. I mean, there's other dimensions out there besides Earth. There's going to be a big eternal war. I will be laughing my white ghost.
There's other
ass
dimensions
off.
besides
messages
Earth.
saying,
Earth
you know,
there's
I
going to
help
be
people
a
get through
big
dark
eternal
times,
war.
or I changed their life, you know, or my videos make them laugh their ass off or put a smile on their face. You know, that's all I ever really wanted deep down. It wasn't there in the beginning. Like in the beginning, I just wanted to be like, I wanted to get famous from it. That was pretty much it. But I was like Onision that had an actual decent fan base, pretty much. Personally, I actually used to watch Onision back.
Onision also didn't want to kill
I used to use his
everybody.
music in my videos, and I just sort of went, it's like, all right, he's making really weird.
Onision is probably a child predator, but
and I'm like,
you know,
no thanks. Even though I
he didn't
cross-dress
wanna
myself,
shoot up
kind of funny, pretty similar with some things we
supermarket.
view. I say really brutal shit on Twitter sometimes, but people support it sometimes. It blows my mind. It's like, cool. It's a man's world. Men, women are better. I'm gonna miss you guys. I really am. My emotions just aren't what they used to be. Yet the most random thing in the world can make me cry, but things that are supposed to make you cry, they don't. Let It Go and Frozen made me cry. A lot. Not just once, numerous of times. Like almost every time I'd watch the movie, and I watched the movie like 20 times. Life's real short. Sometimes it feels like an eternity, but life's so damn short. And look at me, it's like I blinked and I was 24 and a half. And I'll die 24 and a half.
I guess this is part of.
I ask myself, would I do it all over again if I could?
Babes, he
I'm
left
gonna
with
be
his
dead
friends.
before next week ends. I'll be dead. Legit
I think he
dead.
posted this one.
This is it.
Weirdly
Okay,
enough.
I'll miss you guys. I'll miss you a lot. Some of you.
Because he said he wanted to make like 5 videos.
Blaze, signing off.
So like they find it out
Enjoy
after.
the rest of your lives. Andrew, out.
And then in the early morning hours of June 7th, Randy took a strange and eerie video of the Wise Market grocery store, the place he worked for 7 years, and the same place that would later become a crime scene. In this video, it seems he's scoping around the store and checking all the exit points, and it's incredibly haunting to watch, knowing what would happen just one day later. On the night of June 7th, just hours before the horror that was about to unfold, Randy posted his final video to YouTube. His big animation project. It starts out and shows him loading 2 shotguns, which he calls the Twins, named Mackenzie and Rachel after his favorite fictional characters, before he stuffs them into a duffel bag.
I gave them names. The first one I bought, I called Rachel.
Why the duct tape?
And then I called the small
or
one
foil?
Mackenzie, after Mackenzie West. As much as you might
Fingerprints?
believe,
Motherfucker's gonna
this
get caught on
poster,
camera.
I'm the one wrapping my arms around her. That's me.
Again, this is a reference to Columbine, as Eric Harris also named his firearm. But Randy didn't stop there.
Good to
Eric
know.
had etched the name into the firearm, and Randy decided to do the exact same thing.
Now I duct taped the pistol grip thanks to Eric Harris.
It's in this video that he proclaims, "I've been stepped on my whole life, not anymore. I've had enough of this putrid planet and I'm gonna leave my mark." Yeah,
So
kinda dark.
fucked.
And it honestly makes me wonder what was a bigger motivator for him in the end. The rebirth as a ghost girl he so desperately wished for, or simply getting the attention he desired for so long. You're looking at the beginning of this video right now, hours before what happened. At this point, Randy isn't being discreet. In fact, he practically bragged that something was going to happen. It was in plain sight now, and there was still time to stop him, but still no one reported a thing.
I started talking with a girl online, and I started talking to her about the shotgun I got. She was one of only 2 people I told about the shotgun.
Clearly, something dark is
Pause
about
it,
to
pause it,
happen,
pause it.
but I have to warn you that what happens...
Charlie, you know I make a lot of like crazy videos, right? A lot of crazy videos, a lot of like Columbine type shit. And then I just start talking to you about shotguns out of nowhere.
Right.
Aren't you just gonna go like, there's something wrong?
Yeah, it would raise some red flags. I would call somebody. Like,
cause you don't just talk. You don't. Hello. Ah, ya están ahí. Ah, pues dale. Ah, pues dale. Dale. I gotta go.
All right, dude. You take it easy.
Later. We can just finish the video later.
Okay. I'll leave it where
Aight.
it is. But mark it. All right.
Fuck. He just wanted to be a ghost girl.
No kidding.
It's not the weirdest thing I've heard. Oh, later.
Later. See who else is around.
Next is extremely